Oops, I did it again, as Britney Spears would say. I picked up an iPhone 6 for only, drumroll, suspense, $34. I know, it has one or two indentations and only 16 GB of storage, which in 2022 terms means it doesn't really have any storage at all, but let's say you're looking for a cheap iPhone. Then you might ask, is the iPhone 6 still an option today? Well, we will find out in this video. This beauty was released in 2014 and it was actually the first iPhone ever I sold my soul to a network carrier for. Good old times. And since Apple broke a shitload of selling records, with that device they added new versions, for example regarding the memory. Right now there are 16, 32, 64 and 128 GB, so the available space isn't really an issue anymore. Also it's available in space gray, silver and gold. The silver and golden one come with a white front, which is also quite cool. As you might have noticed, this right here is the space gray one, which is still my favorite because in my opinion it still looks very classy and futuristic. So until here it sounds too good to be true. Very affordable, probably no memory issues, colors to choose from, well, let me ruin it. Of course, the elephant in the room is the outdated iOS firmware. This Amigo runs iOS 12.5.5, which in terms of the UI is still very similar to iOS 15, I'd say, but it's still software from 2019, which means that you'll sooner or later face issues when you want to download apps. So you might miss out on new features or might not be able to download some apps at all. As you can see, I downloaded some of the most important ones and they all still work, but as you can imagine, this might change in a few months or years depending on the apps you're using. What really blew my mind is that this brick isn't slow at all. I mean, it's the 16 gig variant and I didn't load a lot of trash onto it, so it might be slightly different as soon as you overfill your 128 gig one, especially because some users reported that 64 gig and 128 gig models were significantly slower than the others, but I'm very satisfied with that performance. Of course, apps need more time to load, especially compared to my daily driver, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but we are still talking about an 8-year-old brick you might be able to trade for a self-drawn picture or so. Also it comes with Touch ID, which makes the unlock process a lot faster. It's very handy, it comes with a headphone jack, has an okay 8 megapixels main camera, a good display, and even the whole design of it isn't really outdated since Apple featured a lot of it again in the iPhone SE 2 in 2020. But, and this is a huge but, this model is one of the most predisposed iPhones for hardware issues and general problems. The first and worst one was the bend gate. iPhone 6 Plus users had way more problems with that issue, but also iPhone 6 users, like me, faced issues with the rapid changes in the iPhone's form factor. By the way, after Apple got sued, it was revealed that Apple knew the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus was more likely to bend, but if this happened to you back in the days, you got a new one, and a new one, and then a new one, until you got one and that didn't bend, or it did and it was out of warranty coverage. Also, some people with longer hair reported that their hair got ripped off when they did phone calls. Furthermore, there were some problems with the touchscreen and replaced Touch ID hardware. All in all, the device had some issues that are more likely to occur, but it's still one of the most reliable devices I've ever used in my entire life. So would I recommend to pick up one of those? Yes and no. If you're looking for a device to do basic tasks with, like listening to music, setting an alarm, playing games that do not need strong hardware, this might be a good device for you considering the price. But as time goes on, you will face problems with app compatibility and maybe security problems. So what I'd rather do is to consider to buy an iPhone 6s or 7. Both of them will probably drop in price later this year since they won't get the iOS 16 update. I hope I've helped you with this video. If this is the case, leave a like and a comment, and of course feel free to subscribe to never miss a video again. Also, I'd really like to know what phone you're using right now, so let me know. Have a nice day and see you next time. Adios amigos.